Hello, beautiful people. Namaste. How are you? Today, I want to talk about the planet Mars. 2025 is a year ruled by Mars, the god of war, the warrior archetype. On the top of that, 2025 has Mars in retrograde. Let me just clarify retrograde does not mean anything negative. When a planet is moving direct, the energy pushes us to move forward and take action. And when a planet is retrograde, the energies associated with that planet move inwards. It becomes more spiritual, emotional, psychological. Rather than taking action in the external world, we take action internally. That's about it. So Mars is retrograde in 2025 for a good part of the year. Mars, the red planet, it is associated with action, with conflict, with assertiveness, also with your sexual energy. So, Mars is what triggers you. Mars is what pushes you to Mars. Actually, I always equate Mars with to assert, to behave in a way that shows power and control. In some birth signs, it thrives, like in Scorpio. In some birth signs, not so much. There are many websites that will tell you where your Mars is situated if you enter your details. Go there, check out where your Mars is, and then come back to this video and I'll tell you exactly what it means for you. First of all, let's start with Mars in Aries. Mars, like I said, is to assert. Aries is impulsive and impatient. Aries has a me first attitude. And so what happens is Mars in Aries, they are impulsive, lightning speed impulsive. They're not going to think, they're just going to act. And they get frustrated so fast. The good part is they do not hold grudges. Their temper flares up and then they're back to normal. When they pay attention to their gut, to what their instinct is saying, they can make good decisions. But the problem is that they normally do not do so. Mars in Aries gets restless. If life gets predictable, their impatience and irritation shows up. When people are slow moving, when people beat around the bush, they are not direct. Mars in Aries makes you impatient and rude. If your Mars is in Aries, it is best if you work alone. Then there is nobody to hold you back. You lack patience and discipline, but on the plus side, everybody knows where you stand. You're passionate about your goals, your life, and also in love. Sexually, you're self-centered and do not take time off to please the other partner. So long-term relationships can be a bit challenging. Karmic lesson if your Mars is in Aries. You do not like to be told what to do by someone you do not respect or anyone at times. Your Mars wants action. Give it something worthy to do. And it will help keep you out of trouble. If you don't, you'll fight and argue just for the fun of it. Not everyone appreciates it. But you take combat as a sport. And that gets you into trouble. Your karmic lesson here is to be patient. To check out what the other person wants. And please don't fight just because it's good time pass. Okay, now let's talk about Mars in Taurus. Mars is to assert, Taurus is enduring and possessive. These two don't match really. So Mars is debilitated in Taurus. Taurus prefers a slow and steady approach, whereas Mars is action. On the positive side, what happens is you're persistent when you get going. But then there's a lot of inertia. So you get going after a long time. On the downside, what happens is with Mars and Taurus, you can hold a grudge. You can hold a grudge for a lifetime. You are protective about what is yours. You're possessive. And if you feel there is a threat to something you possess or somebody you think is your own, then you can hold a grudge. You can be resentful and you can cultivate lifelong enmity. And your temper, oh my God, your temper. Mars in Taurus, you don't get angry easily. You are very slow to lose control. That's because you're an earth sign. But once you get angry, that emotion is intense. It can show in two ways. Sometimes it's boom, explosion. And sometimes there's a long period of quiet where you start getting into play and then your temper comes out and everyone can see it. Thankfully, because there is a good deal of inertia before you go boom, people can take cover, people can erect their defenses. When it comes to your needs, you are passive. It doesn't matter. But you are fiercely protective about things and people you think belong to you. And you are stubborn. You never give up. You find it very difficult to change your mind. You are loyal to a fault until somebody betrays you. Then you can unleash hell. You're possessive, you're jealous. When you're triggered, you can be very unpleasant. The words you use are very harsh. Money and possessions mean a lot to you, not because you're materialistic. It is because money and possessions mean security to you. And security, my friends, is very, very important to you. Your karmic lesson is to own your boundaries. Don't set them from a passive aggressive place. Ask directly for what you need. Tell people directly that this is your boundary and it should not be violated. Be direct. Communication is key. Mars in Taurus. Mars in Gemini. Do you talk with your hands? You don't gesticulate a lot. Maybe you are ambidextrous. You can use both your hands to write. Maybe you have a natural mechanical ability. You most probably have your Mars in Gemini. Check it out. What else? This Mercury ruled sign and the planet Mars. Mars is always action, and Gemini very restless. So naturally, what happens is you're busy, 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 mentally, physically. You're always on the go. You have so many projects. You have so many activities. You're the happiest when you're busy. You hate boredom. Your mind is alert, very active. You absorb knowledge and you love to debate, argue with anyone who wants a mental sparring match. You are wonderful at debates, at arguments, and you have a lot of nervous tension. Anxiety is one of your lifestyle diseases. It is essential that you get yourself constantly checked for stress related illnesses, and also you need to have a regular fitness regime because the stress for you is a very serious problem. You love traveling, you love interacting with strangers, different people. You like the change in surroundings, it keeps the boredom away. You lack focus. You scatter your ideas around. You have billions of projects and you do not have the staying power to stay with one for a long time. Another thing, Mars in Gemini, humor and sarcasm comes quickly for you. Your karmic lesson would be to not use words that can cut people and alienate them because your tongue creates more enemies for you. Mars in Cancer. Mars is debilitated in Cancer. Right now, Mars is retrograde and in Cancer. See, Cancer wants to float in feelings. Moon is the lord of Cancer. Mars wants movement, fast movement, quick movement, decisive movement. And Cancer is all floaty, emotions. So when Mars is in Cancer, you people are very angry, discontented, unhappy. One strong effect of this placement is that you swallow your feelings. This leads to digestive problems, acidity, ulcer. Find different ways to identify and express your feelings of anger and unhappiness. Mars is to assert. Cancer is instinctive and protective. If you have Mars in Cancer, you will avoid direct confrontation. You sidestep issues. You attack indirectly. Aggressive, competitive, in your face behavior makes you uncomfortable. Your ego drive is not very strong. You are not very eager to push your way to the top. You are more concerned with inner satisfaction. You want everything to be heart based, emotion based. So you're very uncomfortable when it comes to forceful action. There is an exception to this. When your loved ones are threatened, then you defend. You have the force and tenacity to defend them to your last breath, literally. Mars and Moon is fiercely protective. Another thing is that you don't handle stress well. You can be touchy, difficult. Your health is emotion based. Your karmic lesson would be to develop a thick skin to handle criticism. Also, that swallow problem that I was talking about, work with your emotions. Do not eat when you are emotionally upset. And please don't try to swallow your emotions. Emotions are not designed to be kept inside ourselves. Let's talk about Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo people, you are proud. You want to be number one. You want to stand out, be recognized. And if you don't get it, you will do something dramatic to get attention onto you. You like to play hard, you like to play to win, and you think life is a competitive sport, a performance game. You love applause and admiration. You have a strong sense of personal honor and integrity to the point of being arrogant. You are resourceful in the matters of love and will pursue your love interest with great fervor and passion. You don't beat around the bush and say exactly what you feel, often in a very embarrassingly direct way. No filters. You need to learn that energy and passion both need to be disciplined, and you need safe ways to vent your anger. Your karmic lesson is to watch the heart. If you're not in shape, you will have cardiac problems. If you mismanage your anger, you will have cardiac problems. Yes, Mars and Leo, can be very quarrelsome, argumentative, and jealous. Another thing is that life is not a game. Don't gamble, literally and figuratively. Mars in Virgo. Let's see. Mars is to assert. Virgo is critical, analytical. So, Mars in Virgo, you're a perfectionist. You have a very high standard for your work. You can be very difficult to live with. Because if you want something to be done right, you have a feeling that you must do it for yourself. You do not like other people doing that work because it never satisfies you. And you can be very critical about it. So you're very difficult to live with. You continuously work for efficiency, accuracy, and precision. And you become very irritated when things are not up to your standard or not done right. Sometimes you play it very safe. You do not want to waste anything, energy, resources, and even your contacts. So you become a bit of a hoarder and you do not take risks. And that, because you are a perfectionist, that becomes a reason for your light not shining. Open your heart, take risks. You are such a perfectionist, you are such a workaholic. Take a chance, you can excel. Another thing is that you're a naturally born healer, Mars in Virgo. You can use the energy of your hands to heal. So, your karmic lesson, Mars in Virgo, is that step out of your mind. Stop being a worrywart. Step out of your mind and live in your body. Do the work instead of looking for imperfections. Mars in Libra. Now, Mars is to assert. Libra is diplomacy, harmony. So naturally, Mars is debilitated in Libra. The very complex placement, because sometimes Mars and Venus can work together and sometimes they can be at cross purposes. So managing the effect of Mars becomes very, very important. If you have Mars and Libra, you swing from one extreme to the other. Sometimes you are pushy, aggressive, confrontational, want to do things your way, and sometimes you are a people pleaser. You want to be compromising. You have a strong attraction to the opposite sex. If Mars is well aspected, it makes you very popular and it generates a lot of goodwill. But if Mars is badly aspected, this can lead to humiliation. It can lead to opposition from the opposite sex. It can lead to fickleness in love relationships. Similarly, you swing back and forth between desire for competition and desire for inner balance. You can feel frustrated at times that you cannot just do what you want. Internally, you are accommodating the needs of others all the time. So, the best way to use this energy, Mars in Libra, is to join forces, collaborate with others so that the needs and desires of the collective can be put first. You're very concerned with the concept of fairness. And if you see injustice, you can become a whistleblower. You can become very vocal. You can take to social media to point out injustices in society. Your karmic lesson, I should think, should be that you need to establish boundaries. You cannot balance out all the injustices in the world. Talk about Mars in Scorpio. It's the traditional ruler of Scorpio. It feels quite at home here. Mars in Scorpio natives, you are lit. You shine. You are ignited with passion, with anger. And when you are angry, you either sting or you implode. Mars in Scorpio is, let's just put it this way, Mars is to assert. And Scorpio, you are intense and secretive. So if you have Mars in Scorpio, you are incredibly strong-willed. You will pursue your goals and desires with passion, with dedication, with determination. You are capable of total concentration, tremendous discipline. Mars and Scorpio placement makes you a winner. Influencing you once your mind is made up is incredibly difficult. It's very hard. When you want something, you become obsessive and you tend to be secretive, not for secrecy's sake, but basically because when you want something, it becomes your big obsession. And then you don't want competition in that area. So you become very secretive. You do not want others to know what your plans are. You need to learn self discipline, or your passions will rule your life, probably causing great sorrow in the end because everything is good to a limit. Another thing you need to do is you need to learn how to control your jealousy and your possessiveness in the matters of love. You do not like to share. Your karmic lesson should be that your loved ones are not your possessions. Mars in Scorpio. The people you love start feeling suffocated. So you need to exercise a certain amount of detachment in a relationship. Mars in Sagittarius. Let's see how this goes. Mars is to assert. Sagittarius is free and tolerant. You have Mars in Jupiter. You are enterprising, aspiring, idealistic, and forever exploring new potentials, new horizons. And you aim high. You're not content with a quiet and secure existence. You're a positive thinker. And you are flexible, you bounce back from disappointment rather quickly. Usually, you get disappointed in one idea and you bounce back with another. You're that resilient. Your enthusiasm and confidence are contagious. They attract people to you. And you will get, if you have a worthwhile project, you will get support from your circle for it. However, sometimes you have a tendency to exaggerate and promise more than you can deliver. Maybe it is due to over optimism, or maybe it is due to insufficient attention to the practicalities involved. But be careful about that because that can be a problem. And you enjoy competition. You do not take competition very seriously. It's a game for you. What is the negative thing about you, Mars in Sagittarius? Sharp tongued, intolerant, self righteous. Sometimes you can be dishonest. And your karmic lesson, I think, with Jupiter and Mars, it should be that you tend to become very religious, over religious, and you can become a crusader if you feel the cause is just. This can lead to you losing friends and support. Mars in Capricorn. Mars is to assert, Capricorn is reserved, prudent. Mars is Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So this is a powerful Mars with places to go, people to see, things to do. See, Mars in a Saturn ruled sign means that your actions serve your ambition for recognition, for distinction, for power instead as status. You are not content to be a follower. You want to have a leading role. And if you do not manage to handle this energy well, you can be very manipulative. You can be ruthless. You can bulldoze anybody who stands in your way. You're hardworking. You can sacrifice your own comfort to achieve your goals, but at the same time you can be manipulative also. Mars in Capricorn, you can become a workaholic. You are very conscientious about doing a thorough job, and you have the responsibility to see it through, and you are very conservative. You will never gamble, take innovative steps, or take risks. The methods you use to achieve your goal are traditional, tried and tested, and you can be a slow starter. You will only take action once you have absorbed all the information, once you have uh, formulated your strategy. So, you are the kind of person who uses their energy very carefully. You know why? Because success is very important to you. Mars in Capricorn, you like to succeed. On the negative side, I would say that you are very quick to get irritated, and you tend to have resentments for hurts. Those hurts can be real also, they can be supposed, imaginative also. Your karmic lesson, Mars in Capricorn, is to learn how to forgive and forget. Learn how to handle your emotions, your anger, your frustration positively. Because most of your anger comes from perfectionism. And perfectionism is a very impossible ideal. Now we come to Mars in Aquarius. Now let's see how this works out. Mars is to assert, Aquarius is indifferent, unconventional. So on one side you have this energy of Mars which wants action, and one side you have Aquarius which is totally indifferent, couldn't care less. So what happens is your actions get expressed in very unconventional and unique ways. You can be eccentric, unconventional, you can be scientific, perhaps a bit rebellious. Once I was doing this research, and I found out that a lot of science fiction writers have their Mars in Aquarius, which is a very interesting way how this energy is showing itself. You enjoy taking part in social group activities, uniting with others with similar ideas and persuasions. You are not concerned with hogging personal power. You do not want the light to shine on you. You're more of a team player. And for you, technology is the best playground. You love unusual methods of technology, and you would like to use them in every aspect of your life. Your energy levels are very high because of the Mars, but they can be erratic too. So plan your work in short spurts. Do not go for the long term projects, and you are function very well in emergencies. Your karmic lesson, Mars and Aquarius, would be to watch out for boredom. Boredom makes you lash out. Boredom makes you unpleasant. Now we have Mars in Pisces. Now let's see. Mars is to assert. Pisces is inspirational, impressionable. So, Mars in Pisces, you are going to express your energy in unconventional ways, non combative ways. You are no longer the warrior archetype because Pisces is pacifist. So, this is going to come out in very suppressed kind of manner. In Pisces, people you would love to work behind the scenes in secret and around others. You would like to plan and put somebody in the front to take the action, because Mars in your sign is simply the kind of person who would rather give up than fight for anything. Your ego is not interested in glorification, in personal achievement, in material advantage. So you're happier when you're working for a cause which is impersonal but very close to your heart than being out there trying to fight back. With your Mars being ruled by Neptune, you're not sure what you want in life, except that you know that you want it to be of a spiritual purpose. So many mystics have this position. You may become a tarot reader, you may be the kind of person who can see the future, you might be a dream interpreter or something like that. You do not like to be on the forefront taking action. On the negative side, I would say that because Mars is sexuality and Mars is also action, you could be interested in the sensual style of life. Drug usage, alcohol, escapism. These are the kind of things that could be a danger to Mars in Pisces. Your karmic lesson would be to learn self control, take action, don't daydream, and please stop being dramatic. Mars in Pisces, laying down guilt trips and creating drama is not the way to get what you want. So, where is your Mars? Drop a comment. Let me know how you found my interpretation of Mars in your sign. And until next time, this is Ritu Lalit, healer astrologer. Namaste.